Today I'm reviewing the ULTIMEA Skywave X50 5.1.4 channel wireless surround sound system with Dolby Atmos, a 760W soundbar, 2 wireless surround speakers, and an 8 inches wireless subwoofer. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've been using this system in a typical living room setup, paired with my TV for movies and shows, streaming music, and switching between quieter dialogue scenes and more dynamic action content. This review reflects how it behaves in real use, not just what the spec sheet lists. Let's set expectations clearly. This isn't a full component home theater with separate receivers and individually placed satellites powering reference level sound. If your priority is modular flexibility with custom speaker placement and massive output for large rooms, that category of gear still outperforms integrated systems. What this system aims for is a stronger, more immersive surround experience with less wiring and easier setup than traditional multi-speaker rigs. In everyday viewing, the 5.1.4 configuration with Dolby Atmos processing noticeably widens the sound field compared with standard stereo or 2.1 solutions. Hide effects, where audio engineers intended them, feel more present than on simpler bars. That gives a sense of space above and around you in scenes with overhead ambience or spacious mixes. Dialogue clarity is generally good. Voices stay distinct in the mix without being buried under music or effects, which matters for dialogue-heavy shows. In action scenes, ambient layers and directional cues feel more layered. The inclusion of 2 wireless surround speakers adds a real rear dimension that a single soundbar alone can't approximate. You genuinely notice sounds moving behind you or spreading into the room more convincingly than with a bar-only setup. The 8 wireless subwoofer delivers appreciable low-end weight. Explosions, ambient rumbles, and music basslines have presence without the system feeling thin. It's not the deepest extension you'd get from large standalone subs, but it's a meaningful bump over smaller subwoofers you see bundled with lesser bars. Setup and wireless integration make practical sense. The system pairs without messy cables, and once configured it stays stable. Room calibration features help get a balanced profile without having to dive into complex menus, which simplifies everyday use. Now for limitations. Because this is a consolidated system rather than fully discrete components, it doesn't match the pinpoint spatial precision or ultimate dynamic range of a dedicated high-end surround stack with separate amplifier channels and room-tuned speaker placement. You get a broader illusion of surround, but it's still channeled through integrated drivers whose placement is less flexible. The 760W total power rating sounds substantial on paper, but loudness and headroom are ultimately shaped by the room and how the system manages peaks. In typical living rooms it feels loud enough and fills space well, but in very large areas or at reference volumes used by serious home theater enthusiasts, you'll notice limits. Wireless operation is convenient, though occasionally small sync adjustments between sub/satellites and source content can help tighten perceived timing. Not a deal breaker but part of practical use to keep in mind. Compared to simpler 3.1 or 2.1 bars, this system feels richer and more immersive. Compared to premium discrete surround rigs, it's easier to install and cleaner to live with, but not as modular or dynamically powerful. Where this system makes the most sense is for buyers who want a near surround Atmos experience without complex wiring, value easy setup with wireless rears and sub, want better bass presence than typical soundbars, prefer a fuller soundstage for movies and music. It's less ideal for buyers chasing full reference level surround fidelity or maximum cinema style punch in very large rooms. Here's the practical evaluation from real use. The ULTIMEA Skywave X50 delivers a fuller, more layered sound experience than basic systems while avoiding complex installation. It doesn't replace high-end discrete home theater stacks, but in its class it feels capable and well-rounded. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.